wish I could tell you I touched his shoulder. No, I put my hand right here. I don't know, that's like the third most sexual place on someone's leg you can put something. And he just looks at me and says, dude. And I just stand up and walk away. Because I'm not explaining this, I'm sorry, buddy. So when I was about 22, that's when everything went completely. And it was a period of when I would get up every morning and I would try my damnedest to see what I still could see. Because right now my vision is weird. It's almost like I could still probably see what I used to. It just kind of looks like I'm trying to see through a window that's covered in condensation. So everything's just blurry. So I apologize for anyone whose head I've hit tonight. You're gonna blame it on the blur, okay? So I tried my damnedest to see what I used to be able to see. Anything from using the computer to trying to maneuver around, even though I'd kind of come to terms with it at this point. Now, being that I was 2 years away from being that I was about to finish university, now there's a new problem. Now it's, you have to get a job, friend. And that voice, that little voice that we all know and love in our heads was saying to me, hey, buddy, why would somebody hire you when they can hire somebody who can see and not fall down the stairs and have a loss of other hands? So I got into this mindset of no one's ever going to do it. No one's ever going to hire me. I'm going to be this stereotypical blind person who everyone thinks is, living in their mom's basement till they're like 64. Living off government checks, and that's not who I wanted to be. Like when I went away to that boarding school, I knew I was destined for more. But unfortunately, between that and a very quick succession of breakups in my romantic life, threw me down into an 8-month depression where I told my parents I was applying for jobs, but literally anything but. I'd watch TV, I'd watch movies, I'd listen to albums, I'd play games. I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm applying, don't you worry. And occasionally I'd actually go out a time or two just to make it seem like, yeah, interview time. But no, I knew. And you could feel it when you walked into those interviews, the few interviews I did go on. You could feel the energy dip right down. As in the moment they laid eyes on me, they said, this fellow is going to be a liability. And the interview would last maybe 5 minutes before they say, thank you for coming, we'll be in touch. And I said in my head, yeah, okay, buddy. So after that 8 months of depression, in which I was experiencing all of this, I went, at the behest of a good friend of mine, to take a job development program, one of my mentors of which is actually in the audience this evening. And I said to myself, like I said to him initially, I'm like, it's going to be like everyone else, every other program, where you go and they say, yeah, okay, your resume is looking good, we'll get in touch with you, and you never hear from them again. But no, I went and I spent 15 weeks in that program and came out of it with a job. Full-time, benefits, everything you could ever want. Well, sometimes. So my mindset changed because when I walked into that program, I was on the negative side of things. I was cup half empty. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. It's going to be the same as everything else. And then I walked into that room and I was with a bunch of other people with disabilities who, in my mind, almost had it worse, which is probably a horrible thing to say. But I'm like, I have a visual impairment. These are people with intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities, and they may have bigger limitations than I do. And I'm seeing them go out and get work and put in the effort, and I'm sitting in the back and feeling sorry for myself? Sir. No, we had to change some things. So we did. And now, my mindset on my disability is just a bit different. And I want to share with you a couple of brief anecdotes how, if I may. Not too long ago, and I know some of you might have heard this story before, but let's tell it again, for those of you who haven't. I was cleaning my room. Again, don't ask my mother. And I realized that my desk is so very, very dusty. And I say, okay, looking around, what can I use? Oh, hey, a can of compressed air. Perfect. Okay, anyone knows what compressed air is. It's literally air that is compressed into a can, and you spray it, and it removes dust. Perfect. Okay, pick up the can, spray, spray, spray. The can jams. oh crap. Why is this can jamming? This isn't supposed to jam. So I put the can aside. I'm like, okay, let's check and see how it goes. I put my hand down on my desk into piles of shaving cream, ladies and gentlemen. Piles of shaving cream. My desk looked like Santa's village. And I'm on the phone with a friend at the time, and they're just like, why are you laughing so hard? This is embarrassing. And I'm like, if you don't find me covering my desk in shaving cream, and then my dad walking by and asking me if I want a duster or a razor, if you don't find that funny, we don't have anything else to talk about at all. One of the things that people like to do when they're meeting a blind person is make a couple of assumptions. And it's not their fault. It's just what they've been raised to believe. Some of those things will be approaching you and for some reason thinking you're deaf as well as blind. Now for me, that's not too far off. However, I still don't need you to come up and say, excuse me, sir! Do you need help? Why, yes, I do, thank you. Can you please point me in the direction of the nearest chair? And then they, of course, are bashful and lower their voice to a regular decibel and help me out a little bit. One of the other things they like to do is they like to grab your arm or your shoulder or whatever without telling you. So you think, oh my God, I'm about to be kidnapped, but they're actually just trying to show you where a chair is. So one day, I'm walking out and to an accessible taxi service, and I have a small bag and a small suitcase. And instead of the person telling me that it is a van, and I might have to step up into the van, he reaches down and grabs my ankle and attempts to lift my foot onto the stair. To which I pause just a moment. And I look at him and say, so no dinner, no movie, just right to second base, huh? I will tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not the poster child for how to treat a blind person. I really am not. Please don't go up to a blind person and say, so, how about second base, huh? Because they will not know what you're talking about. But that being said, even though I have developed a sense of humor, there are still some things that make me either terrified or a little angry. For example, I'm still kind of terrified to cross the street. Especially with those electric cars. They don't make any noise at all, and I'm already deaf, guys, so I'm going to mess around and be Pancake Brandon one day. But one of the things that irritates me, and I know I still make jokes about it, but it's tough, and it's this thought or this stigma that people will see me, and this has happened twice so far, where I'll be out, and I was out with 2 different girlfriends, and somebody said, is that your handler? Is that your caretaker? The first time, the lady bent right over to my girlfriend and said, it's so nice of you to take him out. And she was like, lady, he's my boyfriend. We didn't see her the rest of that evening. So I guess she was embarrassed enough to walk away and not come back. The second time, I was getting my hearing aids tuned up, and I gave my girlfriend my stick to hold, my cane to hold, and I walk in and I'm like, hey, can you show me where the washroom is? And my girlfriend at the time, she was so intrigued by the fact that my cane tip could roll around and actually rotate. So she's walking around the hallway with it, cackling like the Wicked Witch of the West, like, and they're just like, is that your caretaker? And I said, no. But I'm thinking, if she is, I probably should fire her, shouldn't I? What I've learned from all of this is that, realistically, you're going to run into things in life from time to time. Whether that be adverse situations because of a disability, or whether it be tough financial circumstances. And the only thing that's going to get you through that is mindset. The only thing that's going to get you through it is understanding that even though you run into a couple of things throughout the course of your lifetime, there's no reason you can't have fun with it. And I'd say that I sure am. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.